All right, I'm going to kick this off. Hi, everybody. I'm Frank Hanley. This is the Feeling Fit for FSHD meeting. We meet twice a month, the second and fourth Thursdays. This is our almost the end of our second or third, yes, end of our second year doing this program. We try to do some exercises and health and fitness related topics. I'm going to be talking, actually, Ranae's here with me. We'll do some quick intros in a minute. And we're going to be talking about summer safety, water safety, travel safety. Basically, we've got a whole laundry list of things to talk about here. And then at the end, I will, if we have time, I have a mindfulness practice that we can do related to traveling. So what we're going to talk about today is we've got water safety, walking and hiking, driving, general travel, insects, one of our favorite topics, dress, heat, and keeping hydrated and eating when we're traveling. And even eating when we're on vacation, because if you're not somewhere where you're familiar with the food, that can become a challenge. So Ranae and I are going to swap on and off every other couple topics. So neither of us have to talk the entire time. Again, if you're just logging in, if you can put in the chat where you're from, that'd be cool. We like to see who's where. And as a matter of fact, today we are global again. We've got someone, Francesco's here from Italy. So it's very exciting when folks internationally get on. Again, I'm in I'm all right. I'm in southeastern North Carolina and near the Wilmington area. And I'm just going to get going. All right. So let's talk about, the other thing is we'll stop after every topic. If you have a story to tell regarding the topic or something, a bullet point you might want to add, feel free to chime in at the end of that particular topic, and I plan to stop and we'll have some discussion if we need. Okay, so everybody good? Give me a thumbs up, and we'll get going. Okay, great. So water safety was the first thing. It's always something we equate with summertime and swimming in particular, given our issues with dystrophy and such. My quick story here is I moved to the beach and I can't go in the water. I have trouble walking in the sand because I walk with a brace. And a couple of years ago, I was like just standing in the surf and a wave hit me, knocked me over. And if it wasn't for someone standing next to me, I probably would have drowned because I couldn't stand up. I couldn't get back up in time. So that's my scary water story. So but always swim with someone, regardless of your swimming level. Make sure that whoever you are with understand what your limitations are so they can help you in the water or getting in and out of the water. Accessibility, make sure that wherever you're going has entry points for physical people with disabilities. Some places have a lift, some places have stairs or ramps, so be aware of that. Flotation devices as needed. Monitor the water conditions. Again, I live near the beach, and there's always a tourist who comes down and doesn't pay attention to the water warnings, and they get caught in a rip current, and they get dragged out and they have to go out, and somebody's guard has to go out and rescue them. So if you're not aware, when you're at the beach, there are usually flags flying at the entry points. Red flag is don't go in the water. Green flag is it's safe to swim. So be aware of that. Yellow is kind of be careful. So be careful at the beach particularly. Stay hydrated, take breaks in and out of the water. And one thing I have here, if you want to follow this link, I put it in the handout. Last year we did a water aquatics exercise session with a PT person. I can't remember her name. It was a really good session. The link is there if you want to go back. If you're interested in doing a water program, like at the YMCA or senior center or something like that. Um, that is a handout that explains, what to look for at the facility, what credentials the instructors might want to have, those kind of things. So it was a really good session. If you want to check that out, please follow up with that. And that's on the FSHD Society YouTube channel. As a matter of fact, all of our videos from these sessions are on the FSHD Society's YouTube channel. So if you can go back and check these out anytime you want. Okay, any questions or additions or stories for water safety? I'll open up the floor real quick and grab a sip of water while we're seeing if anybody has anything. Just feel free to unmute and talk.
I put the link to what Frank was referring to in the chat so that you can see the YouTube channel with the physical therapist working on aquatic exercises.
Yes, it was a session that we had been trying to get for a while. It's just we could never get our schedules to mesh. So it was a good session to go. All right, let me jump on to the next topic of walking and hiking. Again, if you are going out and you're a walker or hiker, choose trails that you will accommodate you. Don't take on something that you're not going to be able to um, walk on or hike on, or get halfway up and realize you're not going to be able to get down again. Wear comfortable shoes to prevent injuries. Make sure your phone is charged and you let someone know where you're going. Stay on the paths to avoid getting lost or getting off the trail into some areas where you're going to have trouble walking. Carry supplies with you, and also bring some first aid stuff with you. Now, I am not a walker or a hiker, so if anyone has anything they can share with this particular topic, please feel free to go ahead and chime in.
So there's a couple of sites that you can look at that will grade trails for you, that will tell you if it's accessible or if it's wide enough for certain, for wheelchairs or for walkers. Off the top of my head, I can't remember the one, but I do know that I live in Washington State. It's Washington State Trail Guide, I think is what it's called. And it does evaluate every trail.
So my disability is in my core muscles. So I walk with hiking poles anyway. That's how I get around. And I found out that on a actually very difficult hike in the Virgin Islands, my kids live in the Virgin Islands, I was able to do a really difficult up and down over rocks, etc., because I'm very used to the hiking poles. So if people have that version of this disease, I would suggest trying hiking poles rather than a walker or whatever, just because you can get around pretty easily. And I was amazed that I could do this hike.
I'm sorry, who is that is speaking?
That was Marie Kennedy.
Hey, Marie. Marie, is there a particular brand of poles that you like to use? Just curious.
I actually can't remember the name of the poles that I have, but I think there are a variety of them. I try to have a light pole because I'm walking with it. I don't think there's any particular brand. I think.
Okay. Are they aluminum, carbon fiber? What are they? Do you know what they're made of?
They're very lightweight. They're probably a carbon fiber.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just curious because I
Wait a
just
minute,
got a pair.
Chris, they're called what?
I'm sorry.
Oh, my husband says they're called Scandinavian hiking poles. That's the sort of generic term for them.
Did you
Okay.
go into the store and try them out, or did you buy them online?
I bought them online. I'm actually going into the one of the stores at the hiking stores and getting another pair of yeah. So
This is Jim Wilkinson. I also use those hiking poles. my wife walks every morning, and I walk most mornings with her. And I make it about a half a mile with her, and then we separate, and she goes for her 3.5 miles, and I return, and maybe I get a mile or mile and a half in. But I also use the hiking poles, and I happen to know that Cascade is the brand. That's I believe mine are aluminum, but they're adjustable.
What am I made of?
They're adjustable.
Yeah.
That you can collapse them and pack them in a bag if you're traveling with them, or
Cool.
so it's pretty handy. And I keep a pair at the house. I keep a pair in my truck.
Now, let me ask you guys a question, because I just got a pair. I'm going to Europe in a couple of months, and I'm going to be working with the poles, because European walking is way different than walking in the United States as far as the road constructions and things. Is there any particular tips that you use on them, on the bottoms, that
I
last?
use the little round one, pretty much everywhere. And I've traveled all over South America. I've traveled to South Africa. I've traveled all kinds of places with these hiking poles. And I don't even collapse them for the plane. They put them in the back of the
Oh,
big
Yeah.
thing up above, and so they're ready to go when the plane is unloading. I'm
Yeah.
ready to go.
So you pretty much use them all the time.
I use them all the time.
Okay.
Not
hi.
in the house, but in the house, I just hold myself up by putting my hands on my thighs. And
Got it. Okay.
The tips thing, most
I don't know how to
the-
do this.
the
I want-
poles
I wanna-
I've
I wanna
seen,
talk.
most of them have a variety of tips available.
What?
They come with a variety of tips.
yeah,
And
I have
there's-
I think 4 or 5 different kinds but I just use the
I
small.
use the round, like a simple round rubber tip for
Yep, me
most
too.
everything.
Okay.
If you pull the tip off, usually the poles I have a metal spike in the bottom that you can use in the wintertime. Like if you're on icy surfaces or something, you can pull that rubber tip off and use the metal spike to actually dig in. And they also come with like a basket that you can slide over the end of the pole, so that it works kind of like a ski pole if you're walking in snow or something. I've never used the baskets, but every once in a while, if I am walking on icy surface or something, I will pull the rubber off and use those spikes to have a little extra traction.
Guys,
One thing I would
I don't
not
know how to do it.
recommend. There is I know mine came with a rubber, like a foot shape, that's a little wider, kind of a foot shaped thing. And I've used those before, but I think they're kind of clunky or something. I prefer the smaller, just the round, simple round one.
Got it.
I
Good.
think
Good
Dottie would
information.
like to share
I
something.
would, yeah. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I have found that the poles have been a godsend. The cane, I tried a cane and that doesn't help at all. The one thing is, when I travel on an airplane, they don't allow the poles inside the cabin. Maybe you have a different experience with that, but you have to break them down and put them into your luggage, which is terrible.
Right.
I've flown on all kinds of planes,
And
and
they let you on.
absolutely.
Well, I
I
guess
carry I also have a handicap thing, and so I just tell
yeah.
them I need these, and I've never had any problem.
Well, that's wonderful. I'm just afraid that I'll get there and they'll say, nope, you can't get on the plane.
I
But
got stopped
Did you?
this winter. I went on a trip and got stopped at the TSA.
Yeah.
They pulled me aside and asked me about the pole, and then the guy who stopped me took me to his supervisor and asked the supervisor if it was okay. And the supervisor asked if I needed it, and I explained that I had muscular dystrophy.
Yeah,
And he said, "Yeah, let him. It's okay. Let him go."
Most
right.
airlines have an accessibility line, a disability phone number that you can call.
Oh, really?
They may not tell you when you buy the ticket, but if you
Yeah,
Google whatever airline it is and put something in like Alaska Airlines accessibility line or Alaska
accessibility.
Airlines
Okay,
disability passenger, it'll take you to a phone number and you can ask
okay, that's
and
good
make
to
sure that
know.
they know so that it's noted in your reservation that you need these.
Thank you. That's good. By the way, mine are Black Diamond, and I got them at REI,
Black
and
Diamond.
they kind of helped me. The people there were great. They helped measure me for the right height ones, and these break down as well to about maybe a foot. They have like what 3 or 4 different breakdown points where it's like a foot. But I have poles in my home. I walk around in my home, well, outside, and my kids who live far away, I bought poles out there where they are too. So when we go visit, I've got poles there. But anyway, they've been terrific.
Cool.
Good,
They've
good.
been terrific. And I even went to Galapagos with the poles. I wasn't as bad. My FSHD had not progressed as far as it has today. But yeah, they were great.
That's
Good.
excellent. Thank you for sharing. Lawrence has
Sure.
been patiently waiting with his hands up there.
Lawrence.
Just to go back to the swimming, I went to my physical therapist had suggested that I go to the Abilities Expo
Ah,
the year before last, and there was a gentleman there selling wetsuits for people that weren't able to be in the water or swim. And the wetsuit has like a floating device. It's weird. It's in the front.
yeah.
Kind of see it, so it makes you look a little thicker than we already are because of the way we walk. But it's pretty amazing because you get in the pool and you can actually float around and you can kind of swim if you can move your.
Wow.
But just the ability to do it, of course, somebody has to be with me to pull up the zipper in the back,
Right.
and just, getting in and out of the pools, cumbersome and just, sitting at the edge of the pool and getting in. But it's a pretty cool thing
That's
to
neat.
be able to do that.
What abilities expo? Where was it?
It was I live in Southern California, so it was at the Los Angeles Convention Center.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, because I did a qigong demonstration at an abilities expo in it was in New York, New Jersey, a couple of years ago. Um, yeah, it was amazing how much stuff there was there for in one building with all because they had everybody there for the conversion vans and soup to nuts. They had everything there
Yeah, and
for
the different
mobility.
adaptive devices too. And
Yeah.
the reason my physical therapist had suggested I go because it's like I get fatigued walking for any length of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he said, why don't you try a mobility to like a scooter or something and see how what you think?
Right.
So it was weird because it's a transition,
Yeah.
so I was a little bummed out initially, but once I got in it, it was pretty kind of cool to kind of move around so quickly.
Yeah.
I just got one.
Oh, really?
I just ordered one because I have finally I finally gave up in the grocery store and used their little scooters because I don't want to be seen as the little old lady on the scooter. But guess what? It's great.
Yeah.
And we're going to, I live in Philly, so we're going to Longwood Gardens in a couple of weeks. And that's a long hike. I mean, it's a lot of walking. So we bought a scooter. They
Yeah.
have scooters there, but they're first come, first serve. So you're not guaranteed you'll get one. So I thought, well, I'll just get one then.
Yeah.
And they're fun. They are fun as can be. They really are fun. So pride be damned.
Well,
Forgive
exactly.
my French.
And
Pride be damned.
it was a big transition because,
It is. It
you know,
is.
until I started showing signs.
Yeah.
It took 11 years to figure out what was going on with me.
Yeah.
And on a hiking trip to Costa Rica, I just kept falling down,
Right.
you know, and then the neurologist that I was working with still couldn't figure it out. And the supervisor of that department, within 5 minutes, he said, I think you have FSHD. Have you ever?
Yeah.
I said, no, I have never heard of it.
I've never heard of it.
No, because
Yeah.
I think my mom may have had it,
Okay.
but a long time ago, they just attributed it to getting older.
Getting older, right.
You
I
know, they-
found out from my daughter. My daughter was having trouble and she got diagnosed and they said, people said, have your family get tested. And I was having issues. I was falling and I said, something's wrong. Something's off.
Yeah.
And sure enough, that's what it was.
So I'm gonna get us back on track here. This
I'm sorry.
conversation is- no. The conversation is excellent.
But I think,
Excellent.
but Renee, you know, if anybody does have any a chance to go to one of those expos, and
Yeah.
maybe you don't need anything, it's kind of cool to go there to see the different like Frank was saying, the different things they have for us. If you need something, you know, now or in the future.
I
That's neat.
actually like the home building ones where they have the low counters and they have the wide doors. I mean, it's just a whole nother way of
Yeah.
thinking about, you know, it's like, you know, everything is built for you, you know, and your
Right.
needs, which is really cool.
That's neat.
So all right, yeah, let's get on track. Renee, why don't you jump in on the driving one and then we'll go from there. I think that's where we are.
Okay, yes. But unfortunately, Nurse Beeker has to bring up the first aid kit. So if you're out hiking and whatnot, you do need to have a basic first aid kit with you too. Okay. Band-aids, gauze, alcohol sanitizer, and antihistamines for bug bites. All right, so driving. When you're going to go out for a nice drive, make sure that your vehicle's in good condition before you go on the trip. Make sure that
Mikey,
your oil's been
are you
changed
listening?
and that all of the fluids have been topped off. Make sure to take breaks during long drives. Get out of the car. Make sure you move your body. Take your poles with you so you can get out and walk around the car. Plan routes that are wheelchair accessible. If you're traveling with somebody who uses one, make sure that you have accessibility routes wherever you're going. Keep emergency contact information in the first aid kit handy. And wondering if everybody knows what the FSHD emergency care wallet card looks like and what it is.
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna put this in the chat as well.
Disability thing?
Oh, is that what
You
that
have a
is?
little card.
I
that
have
goes
some
with
kind of
the-
a little card. Yeah.
Okay, so there's the
Where did I
card.
get that?
Dottie, can you mute
This thing.
yourself?
There, you can get that card there. There's also another document that's important to consider having. It's called clinical considerations, and it's a document that talks about what your specific needs might be. If you have a post or a most, which is an out of the physician's office or the hospital doctor's order for the specific wishes that you might have about your own care needs. Make sure that you have that with you also. And Frank, I'm going to hand over travel to you.
Oh, wonderful. All right. Traveling, research and choose accommodations that are accessible and disability friendly. Many hotels, I know, you can check a box for additional information if you're doing online hotel reservations and stuff. And like Renee said, as far as airlines are concerned, even the TSA, usually to one side or the other at the TSA lines, there's a handicap lane. It's usually for wheelchairs, but I usually carry my placard with me and just walk down that way. And you skirt right along the edge of the TSA line rather than wait in the line. The one time I didn't find the TSA had that line was in, I think, Seattle. Maybe I just couldn't find it, but it was really crowded. And the TSA person you saw my brace on my leg and pulled me out of the line and walked me right up to the front. So some of them are sensitive to it, and some are not. So it's just things to be aware of. Like I said, I think someone in the FSHD Society told me to always carry your handicap placard with you, so you could show it to folks if they. I think somebody said before the TSA questioned you about it, you pull that out and there's no questions asked, because they're actually not supposed to ask you if you have a handicap, if you have a brace on or something like that. Perhaps the polls might be a little different, but when I go in with the brace on, they don't question it at all. So. Just that's my experience with that. Medications, make sure you have the medications and prescriptions with you, anything that you need to carry with you. Again, TSA may or may not ask you if you're traveling with, prescription drugs or not. I've never seen them do that at all. We talked about informing the airlines that you're coming ahead of time. And actually also, I think through the airline, you can arrange to have a cart or a porter help you on and off the plane and to and from the gate to the front to the luggage areas and stuff. So take advantage of that. It's just a matter of making a couple of phone calls or looking on the internet to find out more information about that. Documents, Ranae just showed a few. Keep your emergency information on hand. And current meds, especially because something should happen to you and you end up in the hospital. People may want to know, or it's important for the staff to know what's going on. I think that somebody along the way, Ranae, correct me if I'm wrong, there was a bracelet that we were touting.
Yes, we did
Okay.
talk about a bracelet. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to multitask here, and in my old age, it's harder to do. It's not fun. So yes, there is a bracelet. It's a medic alert bracelet that you can get. I don't have one. I could look it up and figure it out. I just put something else in the chat. TSA Cares. Is everybody familiar with TSA Cares? Frank kind of alluded to it, but if you go in and sign up for TSA Cares, depending upon your airport, they will meet you outside when you first get there, and they will walk you through just exactly what Frank described. There's no cost to it. It's your tax dollars at work. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I've had at Seattle, they met me, they walked me all the way through, but at Washington, D.C., they said they would be there and they were not on both occasions. So,
How do
it
you
just
how do
depends.
you sign up for that, or?
So I put it in the link in the chat.
Oh.
The link. So if you just click on that link, it takes you right to that website.
Thanks, Ranae. That's cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah, I learned that from some people at United Spinal.
All right, I'll have to look at that later.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
No, that's good info. All right, where are we? Make sure you have your health insurance cards with you, and your travel companions know where your stuff is also, in case you're incapacitated. At least they'll be able to find your cards and things like that. If you're planning activities, try to be inclusive and accessible for everyone. And one thing I added at the end, and this has got nothing to do with us, but this is just safety in general. If you're traveling outside the United States, and this is for folks in the United States, if you're traveling outside the United States, you can check with the State Department if there's any travel warnings for the country or countries you may be traveling to. It's something that you may want to look at. Most of us don't even think about, but you may be walking into trouble and not realize it. So it's just something to it's just another place to check and see what's going on. They usually keep that very current also. And it's kind of like, DEF CON, there's, different security levels that they have, and that's all explained on those websites. Anything else about travel?
So Marie, are you able to find the chat?
Yes, I got it. Thank you.
Okay, good.
Oh,
Good.
okay,
Thank you.
great. Okay.
Frank, I have a question, Prashant. So thank you, Renee, for recommending the TSA Cares, right? I think I don't know how it will be different than, for the sole purpose to get through the line quickly, I signed up for the TSA pre. A lot of times I don't have to remove my braces, and then sometimes they do ask me what I have. So, because actually now my new braces have metal rod in it, but it still triggers that thing. So I get pulled up to the side. A lot of times they kind of do a swab test, and kind of I have to sit through, I don't know if TSA Cares makes it easier. Sometimes it's kind of a little frustrating and kind of time consuming on the side.
It does because they'll talk to the agent at the station and make sure that they're aware that you are. I always say, I can't take my shoes off. I cannot stand. I'm in a wheelchair. And so then that directs them that they need to have somebody come out and pat me down and, swab my hands and whatnot. So I've just learned to be very proactive
Okay, good to know. Thank
so
you.
that I don't have to go through that machine.
Thank you. And good to know about the the walking sticks, right? I'm at a point where earlier I used to be much comfortable walking with my brace around, but lately, the thing is progressing faster. Cannot walk longer even with my braces. So I tried a walking stick. It's not so comfortable. I think maybe it looks like these, hiking poles. I'll definitely experiment. I have some at home. That's different. And kind of other one on the scooter thing. I'm at Lawrence, I'm at that transition phase as well now with walking becoming difficult. I was contemplating about when I talked to my doctor, she was recommending might be exploring that option as well. But when you're traveling, how easy or comfortable is it? Because I drive comfortably, but the scooters they are easily double into the trunk, or how? I don't know. Do I have to get an attachment to the car, or that kind of loads up? I don't know how you guys handle that.
There,
Dottie, do you want to talk about your scooter? I'm sorry, Marie, I interrupted you.
Hi, my scooter breaks down into pieces, and it can be loaded like that into the trunk of the car, or there are scooters that fold up as well. They're called travel mobility scooters. You have to find a place that has a lot of them to try out. There's not that many. We found one that was kind of far from us, but I would suggest that you go there and tell them your needs and that you want to travel with it. And that way you can do that. But mine breaks down, but I'm hoping to be able to, my husband will help me lift it into the car itself, but there's also ramps and those kinds of things. But I think that the major thing is going somewhere to people who know these scooters and electric wheelchairs and try them out. Try them out, because I'm so happy I did, because there was one that I really liked, and then I got in it and I rode it around the store and it was very uncomfortable. So I had to get the good suspension. There's what do they call that?
Well, it's
a special
wheel independent suspension. They've got shocks and springs.
Okay, they have shocks and springs on them. And I would highly recommend those. It would be much more comfortable for you. Does that help?
Every pebble.
Thank you. Yep.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? I don't know if I'm on, if anybody can hear me.
yeah,
You're
Yes,
on.
I can hear you.
Yeah, Iris Sonnet, Livingston, New Jersey. I have what's called a rollator. Does anybody
yeah.
use one of those? It's a walker with wheels, basically.
Right.
I went to Barcelona recently with my family to visit my daughter. She's taking a semester abroad there, and Barcelona in Spain happens to be very handicap friendly. It's very accessible for people with
Oh, wow.
disabilities. It's one of the most I guess accessible cities in Europe, for people with
Great.
disabilities, Barcelona. But I used a rollator there, and one day we walked 5 miles because we were on a tour. We took
Wow.
several tours, and I don't know, it enables you to walk, normally, but I have to, like the lady, I guess Marie, I also have severely affected abdominals, so I can't walk without leaning on something. And I found it to be terrific because I was able to walk normally, just leaning on it. And I didn't lean, I was standing upright. I adjusted so I could stand upright, but it was wonderful because, you know, I was able to use my legs. I was able to walk normally like everybody else. I just happened to have a rollator. Has anybody had an experience with that at all? With a rollator?
What is it? I don't even know what it
It's
is.
A rollator is a
It's a
walker.
four-wheeled
It's a
walker.
four-wheeled walker, and it has a seat. It has a seat on it with a back to it so that you can sit down on the thing. It's great. You use your legs just like you're walking normally. The only difference is you're leaning against it, obviously. Think of like almost like a shopping cart, basically. You can put a little bag on it, you know, to carry items. And if you're tired, you can stop and you can sit on it because it has an actual cloth seat. It's very comfortable. But the important thing is it enables you to walk normally and use your legs, you know, like you're walking.
My mother had one. It was great.
No, she didn't have the kind with wheels though.
Yes, she did. No? Okay, never mind.
Some of
They're very
them
versatile.
Successfully used one.
some of those are have handbrakes.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
Like they
Uh-huh.
come, they're four wheeled, but then they have on your grip you have handbrakes that you
That's right.
can, so that it doesn't run away from you.
That's right. Yeah, it has
That's good to know.
handbrakes, and it's great. You can even walk up inclines with it. So just a suggestion for anybody who wants to walk, you know, quote unquote normally,
Oh, yeah,
but just
yeah.
has to lean against something instead of using the poles or whatever. This is really terrific. I
Look
use
at
it
this and
around.
just
We
put
walk
this
around
up.
a reservoir that we have here that's about 2 miles around in my area, and it's terrific.
I
Yeah,
read,
that's it. That's the picture. That's
there it
one of those.
is.
Yeah,
Thank you,
that's what
Frank.
they
They're
look
great.
like. That's what they
I
look
have
like.
a question.
Yeah.
You said you went 5 miles?
Yes.
Weren't you fatigued? I know you said you can stop and sit for a little bit, but
Well, I didn't walk the 5 miles,
okay,
you know, continuously. We
right,
were on a tour, so we'd
right.
walk for a bit and then we'd stop at a place and we would like a museum or something like that.
Yeah,
And then we'd come out and then I'd walk again. But when I took a look at my Apple Watch, you know, which records my steps,
right.
it was 5 miles
What?
actually altogether. It was an entire
Yeah,
day, but you know, not continuously. We'd stop for lunch or we'd you know, we'd get on a bus or something like that to go someplace. But the actual walking that I did that particular day in Spain was actually 5 miles.
wow,
Mm.
wow. What kind do you have?
The one that I bought now is called a Zebon, Zebon. Zebon.
Zebon.
They have hundreds of them, literally hundreds of them on Amazon. And
Wow.
I did a lot of research on them, and I wanted to get a lightweight one, so I got a carbon fiber one. It only
Okay.
weighs 12 pounds.
Oh, that's
The
nice.
one that's the one I bought recently for travel because I can get on and off a plane easily, and I can hold it if I have to carry it upstairs. But the one that I took to Spain was one that I bought kind of off. I didn't really know anything about them, and I bought one that was about 17 and a half pounds. And I'm not crazy about it, but it does work. It works very
Okay.
well. I just don't like the way that it folds up, and it's not easy to carry because it's a little heavier. The one that I just bought, the Zebon one, is only 12 pounds. The other one was aluminum. This one is extremely lightweight. It's carbon fiber, very, very strong, can support several hundred pounds. I only weigh about 155, but it's got a built-in seat, so you can sit down. It's got a back to it, so you can lean against the back while you're sitting. It folds up, and when it folds up to a very, very small, narrow size that you can actually roll. You know, when you're in a
Oh,
restaurant, you can
yeah.
roll it into the corner, you know, where you're sitting in a restaurant. It's very convenient. And it opens up in a second, 1-2
It's
seconds.
great.
It
That
opens up.
Zebon. Yeah.
Zebon, yes. Look on Amazon. That's
Okay,
the best
thank you.
place to find them. Yes, and just look for rollators on Amazon. They have literally hundreds of them.
So do you
Excellent.
walk to the plane with it?
Well, when I get on the plane, when we went to Spain, because that was the first time I'd ever used one,
Right.
they were extremely, extremely helpful there. As soon
Okay.
as they saw me rolling through the terminal with my family, and I had a rollator, they said, "Come this way, come this way." They brought me right over to the handicap line,
Okay.
and they got my whole family and all of us, and they took it from me and they put it in the front of the plane, you know, where they
Oh,
sometimes
right,
put the,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't bring it on to into the area where we were sitting. I didn't put it on the overhead rack. They put it right in the front of the plane. And when I got off the plane, they had it all ready, opened up, ready to go for me.
Wow,
They were this is Spain. I don't know how it is here in this country. I'll
that's
find
the
out because
thing.
we're taking a trip to Chicago the end of next week to a wedding. So I'm going to be taking one. I'll see how they are in the States. But
Right,
in
right.
Spain, they were terrific. I mean, at the airport, on the plane, as soon as they saw me with a rollator, they took me and my entire family and they took us off to the side. We got on quickly, got off quickly. It was great.
Wow,
That is
that's
So
good to
great
know.
to hear. Thank you
Yeah.
yeah,
so
so when they
much.
see you with one of these, they know automatically that you're disabled, and they come to your aid,
That's
and you get to
great.
skip the line. It's really great.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
just a
Wonderful.
Thank you so
suggestion.
much.
Just
That's
a
Thank
a
you
good
both for
suggestion.
sharing
suggestion.
that. So we're going to go on to insects now.
Insects.
Insects, insects. How exciting is that? So we want to make sure that people who have a problem with bug bites, that you select the correct insect repellent for you, because sometimes they have ingredients in them that you might be allergic to or that you might be sensitive to. And make sure that you read the instructions and reapply it as needed, especially when you're outdoors, and especially if you're in an area where ticks are present, and deer ticks. We don't want to increase the population of individuals who have Lyme disease.
Right.
Make sure
Right.
that you have the right type of clothing on, that it covers your skin. And sometimes you need to tuck your pant legs into your socks so that they can't get in easily that way either. Um, Make sure that you're aware of signs of allergic reactions and have antihistamines available, like Benadryl. Sometimes you can get a net or a barrier that goes over your head as you're walking around, or if you're out camping, if you're in an area, it might be a cabin that doesn't have good screenage on there. Make sure that you have a net or a barrier that you can sleep in to prevent insect intrusion. I love that. And make sure that you're checking for ticks. So I know that I couldn't check myself, so make sure that you talk with somebody else about having them check you um, from top to bottom, from head to toe, because those
Great.
little creatures get anywhere and everywhere. Make sure that you dress. I'm just going to go on to dress.
Yeah, Renee, let
Sure.
me just jump in real
Sure.
quick with ticks. Be careful. Learn what a tick looks like, because they are not these big giant bugs. They are really, really small. So, and it's really hard to check for them sometimes. So if you're outside, be careful, especially with ticks. Go ahead, Renee.
Oh, that's an excellent point. Those little deer ticks are very, very tiny, very, very tiny, and you may not even feel them crawling on you. So it's really important to check for those.
Good
All
to
right,
know.
your job next, Frank. Your turn.
Oh, okay. So we're dress. Actually, does anybody have anything else to add about the insects? Any fun bug stories?
I'd like to just add 2 cents about the ticks. My wife is particularly attractive to deer ticks. She gets them more than I do, and her doctor has given her a prescription for antibiotic. I forget what the antibiotic is that he recommends, that if she's bitten by a tick, that she takes a couple doses of the antibiotic right away. Don't wait for the bite to take effect.
Right.
Wow.
And the other thing, we live in Pennsylvania. There's and I can't think. I forget what. There's the university in Pennsylvania that has a tick lab that you can send if you have a tick.
Probably Penn State.
You caught a tick or removed a tick that has bitten you. You can put it in a Ziploc baggie and mail it to the
Wow.
lab, and they for free test the tick and let you know what the tick is and whether or not it had Lyme disease.
Wow.
Good
That's
to
Yeah.
know.
good information. Thank you.
Yep.
Great information.
Good, good, good. Okay. All right, dress. Let's jump into dress. Lightweight and breathable clothes to stay cool. Clothing appropriate for the season and the weather. Stuff that's easy to put on and take off, of course, for us. Also, lightweight, we mentioned it being lightweight. There is sun protective clothing. A lot of it has SPF value. If you look in some specialty stores, I know I've seen those. And particularly wearing long sleeves, some of them, these shirts particularly and pants are very lightweight. So they'll help you prevent sunburn. And we always talk about the sunscreen. Try not to use a spray. I always like to use a cream instead of a spray because you end up spraying more on your neighbor than you get on yourself sometimes. Or whoever's downwind of you, I guess. Medical devices and aids are in good repair and comfortable and attached securely, and layer clothing is needed. So you may go out in the morning and it's cold, and when the sun comes up, it gets hot. So be able to, again, carry things that are lightweight so you can wear a light jacket. You can take the jacket off and carry it with you or fold it up and put it in your backpack or whatever. So it's easy for you to move around, especially if you're on doing day trips. I know a lot of us go to, if you're taking a cruise or you're on some kind of a vacation like that where you're taking day trips. The weather in the morning might not be the weather in the afternoon or midday. So be aware of that and check your phone app, the weather apps. They always tell you what the weather's going to be like where you are. And almost give you an hourly thing, and they're getting to be really, really accurate these days. So, any questions with dress or fun stories with dress? All right, Ranae, I'll let you do the next one.
Okay, thank you. So heat is the next one we're going to talk about, making sure that we stay hydrated by drinking plenty of water throughout the day. And that sometimes means carrying enough water with us so that we can remain hydrated. Avoid strenuous activities during peak heat hours. Usually it's midday, but depending upon where you live, I know it gets hotter here at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So making sure that you're aware of when it's going to be really hot in the area that you're in. Use fans or air conditioning to stay cool indoors. Wear hats and sunglasses to protect from direct sunlight. And then make sure that you are aware what the signs of heat exhaustion are, and so that you can monitor for that. So for heat exhaustion, it's heavy sweating, pale or clammy skin, a headache, nausea, dizziness, muscle cramps, or excess fatigue. Being aware of what heat stroke symptoms look like, and that's confusion, seizures, loss of consciousness, hot and dry skin, rapid, strong pulse, and to be sure and seek medical help if you're experiencing any of those symptoms. Anybody have a story or a comment about heat stroke or heat exhaustion?
Mm.
It can happen before you know it, so it's really important to be aware of it. Okay, Frank,
Right.
Back on
Well,
back on the tick lab, I just put in the chat ticklab.org is
Oh,
a
cool.
location that gives you locations around the country of tick labs.
that's
Thank you.
excellent.
Thanks very much. Thanks. So quick heat story. Last year I was working in the yard. I sat down on the steps to take off my shoes. And the next thing I knew, my wife was screaming at me because I had passed out from the heat and I didn't even realize it. So that's how quick it can happen. The backside of that story is I also discovered how slow the first responders are to get to my house.
My word.
So that's something that, I learned two things: to drink a lot of water when I'm working outside, and it's not always best to call 911 because depending on where they are, we're in a big county here. So, and the county is the 911 operators. So if they're on the other side of the county or whatever, it's going to take them a while to get here. Anyway, what are we talking about? Oh, we did heat. We're going to do water.
Yes.
All right. And then I think we're done. Woohoo. Okay. So water regularly. We said carry. Oops. Computer slid off the desk. Carry refillable bottles with you if you are again, we're traveling and eating. We're talking about meals that are good to sustain. Not a lot of carbs and little and no to no nutrition. My wife's famous for eating Doritos all hours of the day when we're in the car. Chips, candy, pastry, sugary stuff, not really the best thing. We talk about being, using foods that are prepared, not bringing stuff. What was the story? Somebody bought sushi at the 7-Eleven.
Oh my word.
So that's something, be aware of what you're eating and where you're getting it from. Snacks that are easy to consume. We always like the trail mix and that kind of stuff. And fresh fruits are always fun too. Bananas, apples, pears. We usually do bananas and apples. That's our usual job. Sometimes a citrus and orange also. So, and also with the water, some of these waters now are like there's smart water where it's balanced. The pH is balanced, and there's other waters that have extra electrolytes in it. So, not the junky Gatorade drinks, but some of the other stuff is got a lot of extra added stuff that's good for to have with you if you're traveling. So, anything for water, hydration, eating, anything that people like to travel with to eat. Any fun travel stories with food? We can welcome to do that. Right?
I've got a travel story with food. Years ago, we're talking 40 years ago, my ex-husband and I were going to go on a trip, and he made chicken, and we put it in the car in Mississippi, and we did not have a cooler, and we ate the chicken, and guess what? We both got really sick.
Oh,
Wow.
that's terrible.
Wow.
Lesson learned.
Well, the other thing is to put the chicken in the car and drive to another, drive wherever you're going, and then 3 days later realize the chicken is still in the car.
When you're smelling it.
Exactly right. What's that smell? Right. So, okay. Anyone have anything else they want to add? We've got like 5 or 10 minutes left. Anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, I do.
Sure. Who's
Dottie.
that?
Dottie.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Dottie.
I have noticed over the years that swimming is very scary for me. I can't swim anymore because I can't. But just getting into the water, even I take a swim noodle with me, and I can't get my leg up over it. And I almost drowned last summer because I kept slipping into the water, and I guess my muscles were just not strong enough to help me get my head above the water. Does anybody else have difficulty with that?
No.
No? Swimming's fine?
No, I have trouble standing. Like I said,
Yeah.
in the pool, just standing. Like other folks here with the weak core, standing is difficult. Getting up and down the stairs is difficult. In the pools, because I'm usually at the pool, like in the community here. I'm not at a fitness center. So, you need a railing to get in and out. And,
right.
And just like you said, even if I lose my balance and fall in the pool,
right.
Somebody better be around to help me.
Right.
Yeah, and
my FSH is mostly in my legs. So I can't kick with them or bring a leg over a device. So
right.
that's a problem for me. So okay, I just didn't know.
My wife is a fish, loves to swim, takes me to we go to the beach, and she wants me to go in the water with her, and I don't like it because when I'm in the water, I can swim still. I never was a good swimmer, but I can still swim, so I'm not afraid of the swimming. But getting in and out of the water is difficult, and my issue is the core issue.
Okay.
When I'm submerged in the water or even standing in a pool, I feel like I'm one of those advertising balloons that's 30 feet tall that's waving in the wind.
Oh, right.
That's how I feel when I'm in water. I
Can-
don't have control of my upper
Can-
body.
Okay.
Whatever water movement and buoyancy creates an imbalance.
Wow.
That's
Can you kick your legs?
I can still kick my legs.
Okay,
Yes.
so I can't.
So I can swim still.
Okay, lucky.
Not well, but yeah.
Yeah, well, it's okay. All right, that's good to know. Thank you.
Yep.
Good. Yeah, we should look into one of those wetsuits.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I had the same problem going in, particularly in the ocean, because
Yeah.
I find, if I'm in the water where I'm swimming,
Right.
it's one thing where I'm treading water or whatever.
Right.
But if I'm standing, I have very unstable. And then you've got the undertow sucking the sand out
Right.
from under your feet.
Right.
So it's really hard to stand up in the surf. Like I said earlier, that's where I lost my balance and fell. And then a wave came over the top of me. So I thought I was dead until
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
partner there, my wife and our neighbors that were with us, helped me get up. So there is, somebody was talking about, there are they're like submersible mats that they put down. And we don't have them here at our beach, but someone was telling me at some of the other beaches around they do. So you can kind of walk out. It's kind of like a boardwalk in the water. So you're not standing on the sand, you're standing on something more stable. But still, you've got the water moving around you, which is still there's a potential there for it to knock you over. So
Right.
I just so yeah, no, good conversation. Okay. Anything else? So if we got 5 minutes, you want to do a mindful drill or you want to call it a day?
We got
It's up to
1
you
minute.
guys.
It's
We got 1 minute. So
59.
let's just shut it down and we'll do it the drill another day. We could do that.
Thank you
All right.
so much. These are really helpful. I just started doing these Zooms and I'm like, this is so great to have a support group like this to talk and compare. And Ira, thank you for your suggestion about the rollator that you tried to use the ski poles. I'm definitely going to go look for a rollator.
Look into it. Yeah, look
Thank
into it
you.
because it enables you to walk normally.
Right.
The only difference is you have to, you're leaning on something, but if you adjust it properly, you could stand upright. You shouldn't be leaning over it. You should
Okay.
stand as upright as possible. They all come with adjustments. And the
Great.
lightest weight ones are the carbon fiber ones, but go on
Right.
to Amazon and do a good thorough research on which one you think would be best for you.
Well, I thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
I have one more advertisement for the society, and this is about Better Life.
Oh, yeah.
Is everyone familiar with Better Life?
I read about it.
It's a great opportunity. And so there's the link to
Okay.
get into that. So it's a mechanism where you can monitor your own symptoms and your fatigue. It's also an opportunity to take different little surveys so that we get better information for researchers on our disease and how we manage with our disease or what challenges we have with our disease. It also is an opportunity. So if you say that you have problems breathing, so it will go into the background and will pull up all of the different educational sessions that the society has had on rest or breathing or whatever the concern might be. So it's really a great opportunity.
Great.
So check it out if you haven't checked it out already.
A question, are these chats I see on the side with all the links, do they get saved somewhere?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the chat gets saved. If you want a copy of it, you'll need to reach out to June.
Oh, okay.
I don't get them. I don't own this. The society does. So
Okay.
June Kiyashida, you need to contact her if you want a
Thank
copy
you.
because I know it does have all the links in it. Hey, Renee, one quick thing. Let's talk to June about having maybe it wouldn't be this
Follow-up.
where it wouldn't be the right form for it, but to have some follow-up discussion on these mobility devices. There seems to be a significant amount of interest here.
I agree.
So maybe one of the other gathering place forums may be more appropriate, but let's bring it to her attention.
Yes, absolutely. We've done them in the past, but it's probably time to do it again. And
Okay.
so it's another opportunity for another advertisement. So the society also has a wellness hour support group, which is for anyone, family members, loved ones, individuals with the disease, or anyone that supports an individual with the disease. And then there's also a women's group that's only for women with FSHD.
Wow.
So there's a lot of opportunities for support out there. I'm
Right.
going to put my email address in here. If you've got questions, please reach out to me about,
Right.
and I'm sorry, we're typing with.
There's also early onset for
Mhm.
parents of young children, and there's a young. It used to be called Young Professionals. It's called something else now. It's kind of like the Gen X or Gen Z
Oh.
people. So there's groups. There's something for everyone.
There really is. There
If you
really
go
is.
onto the website and you just look for Gathering Place, there's a list of the FSHD Society website. There's a list of, or you can just find the links to sign up for these different groups.
If you go to the calendar, go to the society, and then up on the top over towards the right, it says calendar. Click on that, and it will have all of the different opportunities for gathering groups on there.
Very important.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
There's also a navigator. And
Right.
that you can get to that on the website. It's fairly easy to get to on the main page of the website. But if you have questions, please take my email down and we can get you in touch with what you need.
Thank you so much.
I'll
Thank you.
just throw in 2 cents for the Better Life. I've signed up to that, and I find it helpful. It's interesting. The polls are interesting. Just there's all kind of general information
I
there.
think I'll sign up. It's great.
Please do.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, anyone have anything else? Otherwise, we'll call it a day.
I think we're
Frank,
good.
there was a question about saving the chat. If anyone is logged in from a computer on the chat, there is an option to save the chat rather than waiting for an email to come through. I don't know about the mobile devices though, but I was able to, at the top on the Windows, I saw 3 dots and it gave me an option to save the chat.
Oh, okay. I never knew that. So yeah, if you have the chat box open, and it says feeling fit with FSHD on the top, and if you click the 3 dots, it says save the chat. How about
Oh, thank you for sharing that.
Wait, I don't see it.
that? If you're in the chat,
Yeah.
up on the top line of the chat, it says feeling fit with FSHD.
I'm on an iPad. This might not be working.
Oh yeah, you might not be. I'm on
It might be in a different place. It's there, but it's probably
Yeah,
in a different
okay.
place.
Anywhere, if you look around, there's three dots and it says more. I'm just reading
Oh
what
yeah,
it
I
says.
see that. Okay.
And then if you click that, it says save chat. So it might, I don't know where it saves it to, but it
To me, it went into the documents, Frank.
oh, okay.
Within the document, there's a Zoom folder and it kind of saved it with a timestamp on it. So it's helpful.
All right. Thank
I
you.
don't have that. All right.
We learned something new today. Well, worst case is just ping June and she'll send you a copy.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Great.
Thanks for joining. I really appreciate it. Thank you,
Happy,
Renee. Always fun doing stuff with you.
It is
Happy
fun,
Memorial
Frank. Thank you.
Day. Happy
Yes,
Memorial
have a safe
Day.
holiday, everyone.
Good
Be
holiday.
safe, everyone.
Thank you,
Thanks so
everybody.
much.
It was great.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Right.